Okay, now we're coming into chapter 24. Okay, Abraham is now old and well stricken in age, and the Lord has blessed Abraham in all things. And now he's an old man, and he goes to his eldest servant, the eldest servant of his house, and the one who he trusted, a guy who worked for him and everything. And he said he put the thing that they used to do back in those days, where you put your hand under his thigh, you know what I mean, and make a promise. Okay, so he put his hand under his thigh, and Abraham said to him, "I swear, I want you to do me a very important favor, and put your hand under my thigh and promise me that you will take my son Isaac and don't let him marry one of the Ethiopians, okay? Or the Canaanites, you know what I mean? Don't let him marry any of the Canaanites. These are black African people, okay? And not because they were black, no, because of this other thing of Ham's curse, and we're getting real close to it now. Okay, we're only a story or two away from it now. So here's Abraham telling his servant, "Put your hand under my thigh, make me a promise that when I die, get a wife for my son Isaac, but don't get one of the Canaanites. Okay, I want you to go to my kindred, go to, in other words, my family members, and go down there and get a wife for Isaac." Okay. And the servant put his hand under his thigh and said, well, wait a minute, though. Suppose I go down there to your servant and I go look for a woman and no woman comes out to me, or how would I know who this woman's going to be? And Abraham said to him, the Lord, the God, he will send his angel and he will show you the woman. She'll come out and he'll show you who it is that you're supposed to have for my son. Okay. And he said that the man set out and went down to the area. He took his camels and his different things. Took 10 camels and all the different things and whatever, and went down to Mesopotamia to the city of Nahor. Okay, and when he made his camels kneel down like outside of the city. Okay, and so he was kind of like waiting, and he saw these women coming out to draw water from this particular well. Okay, so I'm supposed to get this, so he prayed to the Lord, and he said, Lord, if whoever this woman is, please have her come out and have this water, a pitcher of water or something, so I kind of get an idea. And while he was talking, here comes Rebecca walking out with a pitcher of thing on her head, and she gets right in front of him and says, would you like some water water for your animals? And surely enough, we knew that was hands down, that was her. Okay, so and this was Abraham's brother Nahor. So he had to go to Nahor's house to find Rebecca, and she got down off of her. She came down, and she was so wonderful. She was gorgeous to look at, and she went down and gave water to him and to his animals, and he said immediately, whose daughter are you? Tell me, I pray thee. Is there room in your father's house for us to lodge in? And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, which she bare unto Nahor. Nahor is Abraham, Abraham's brother. So, and she said more to him, we have both straw and everything that you need, enough, for a room lodge for you and your animals. And the man bowed his head and worshiped the Lord and said, thank you, Lord. Thank you for showing me the woman, And surely enough, so then she runs off and tells Nahor that, Abraham, your brother sent a man down here, and stuff. So it was a really good visit. He knew, you know what I mean? He knew that, this is her. This is the woman I'm supposed to get. So he said, come into the house and stuff. And he hooked up his camels and hooked all that stuff up. and stuff. He got inside and stuff, and he tried to tell Nahor what happened. Abraham sent me down here. I made a promise to him that I was going to come down here and get a wife for his son Isaac and stuff. But when I asked him, what he didn't know. I didn't know what woman I was going to get. So I got here and I put my camels down and I prayed to the Lord. And I was asking him that if you would send somebody, you know what I mean, and a woman that would come out with a picture on her head. And while I was praying to it, your daughter came out, and she, you know what I mean, she came up to me and and stuff. And Nahor was like, really, and stuff. So, hands out, he knew that was the woman that he was supposed to have for Isaac. Okay, because he said to her, he said, look. Well, give me some time to, say goodbye to her and let her say goodbye to her family. And he was like, look, man, I came a long way. I came a long way to come here to get this woman and stuff. And I'd like to really get back on the road and get back going and get her. He's like, well, hold on, man. You can't just come and take my daughter. And she has things. She has family members to talk to, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? And then they said, well, we'll ask her. What would you want to do? And she was like, I'm ready to go. She was ready to go. And then, you know what I mean? And next thing you know, I shouldn't laugh. I shouldn't make it funny like it did. But they asked her, what would you like to do? And she said, let's go. And, of course, they went and they ended up going back to Isaac. And wonderful stories, man. Wonderful stories. They were like, they blessed Rebekah and said to her, thou art the sister, thou might be the mother of thousands of millions. And let thy seed possess the gate. This is with her family saying goodbye to her. You know what I mean? And the gate of those that hate them. And Rebekah arose and her damsels, and they rose upon one upon the camels and followed the man. And the servant took Rebekah away, and they went their way. Okay. Now Isaac, meanwhile, there's Isaac. He came from the way of the well of Lahairoi, where he dwelt in the south country, and he was just out in the field doing stuff out in the field and whatever and stuff. And way far off, they're starting to come. They're coming now. A few days later, they're coming in, and she could see, and she's like, "Who's that up there on the hill?" And he said. And she was like, looking, who's this handsome dude? This handsome guy up there with, this, that, and the other. And she said, that's my master. That's Isaac. That's the man I bought you for. And she put on her little veil and stuff, and the cover herself. And now his servant comes to Isaac and says, everything was cool. Everything turned out cool and stuff. And and Isaac brought her, he said, and this is the woman that I was supposed to go get. And Isaac looked at her, and she unveiled the face, and oh yeah, she was gorgeous. And he took her into the tent, and they became a husband and wife. Okay, and Isaac was comforted after his mom's death, after Sarah's death. Okay, all right. That's chapter 24. Now we get into chapter 25. Okay. Then Abraham took another wife. Her name was Keturah. Okay. And now he's old, but they got him another wife and stuff. And Keturah had started having children. She had some children, Zimran and Joshan and Midian and Issac and Shuan. And these different sons now, you know what I mean? And everybody wants to be connected to Abraham in some kind of way. So all these people now, here's a good place to say something here. You're going to hear things like the lost tribes of Israel, or these other people who married into the families, black folk and different people who married in to Abraham into their family. Okay, they're talking about him when he married Keturah and these other people and stuff. All right, okay, yes, all right. Same thing happened with Moses. At one point, when he gets real old, they're going to bring him another wife. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Okay. And the sons of Midian, Ephah, and Hanok, and Abraham gave all that he had to Isaac. Okay, so now Abraham now gives all the blessings that God gave Abraham. He's now giving all these blessings to Isaac, his son Isaac. And I must say something. I've been holding back something for a long time in telling you these stories. In the Holy Bible, it usually, in the old Bibles, it talked about all the blessings. I can't find it in this Bible, in these modern Bibles. I can't find those blessings. I mean, they're like just the wonderful things that God gave Abraham. The blessings that God gave Abraham. I'm gonna bless you. I'm gonna bless your coming in. I'm gonna bless your going out. Those who love you, I'm gonna love them. Those who hate you, I'm gonna hate them. You know what I mean? You're gonna have kingdoms and kings and kingdoms coming out of you. I mean, just all these blessings and just wonderful. The ground you walk on, everywhere you go, you're gonna be. And I can't find those blessings anywhere in these all these different new Bibles with these new translations. Anyway, just to let you know that. But anyway, so here's Abraham. He gave all that. Okay, they'll bring all those blessings in one little statement. And Abraham gave all of that he had to Isaac. There you go. But the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son, and while he yet lived, eastward unto the east country. And these are the days and years of Abraham which he lived, 160. That's 160 and 15 years, 175 years. And Abraham gave up the ghost and died in a good old age, an old man full of years, and was gathered unto his people, buried in Machpelah. Actually, I can tell you this. And his sons Isaac and Ishmael came back, who's much older, buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephraim, the son of Zoar, the Hittite, which is before Mamre. And the field which Abraham purchased of his sons of Heth, of the sons of Heth. If you remember, he said, I want to bury my dead, and they were like, no, get out of here, you can have it. Anyway, he's talking about them. God blessed the son, and now the field of which Abraham purchased of the sons of Heth. There was Abraham buried, and now him and his wife Sarah. And it came to pass after the death of Abraham that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well of Lahairoi. Then it gets into now these are the sons of Ishmael. Okay, then it goes off into now Ishmael and his sons. Okay, it comes back now after it gets finished with them. Then it comes back to Isaac. Now his story begins. Okay, these are the generations of Isaac. Abraham begat Isaac. Now Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Panamaram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. Okay? And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. She couldn't have any children. Sound familiar? Yeah. Abraham's wife Sarah couldn't have any children. Now Isaac's wife Rebekah can't have any children. There's a reason why. But anyway, you're going to see it all in a minute. Okay. So the Lord entreated them, and Rebekah, and then finally the Lord heard Rebekah's and Isaac's prayers, and the Lord allowed her entreated Rebekah and allowed her to conceive a child. But she had two children, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, "If it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire to the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels. The one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger." Now remember, that's that same thing that happened all the way back, starting with Cain and Abel. After Cain killed Abel, every family after that, the older serves the younger. After Cain and Abel, the first ones would be, of course, Cain was older and he had to serve Seth. Then after that would be Noah's sons, but it didn't really talk about that then. The next one would be Nimrod. We wouldn't talk about that then. Then we would come into Abraham. Okay? And not Abraham, now we get into this. You know what I mean? Ishmael ends up serving Isaac. Now, Isaac has 2 sons, and the older, and and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 manners of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. The first came out red, all over and hairy, like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau, the firstborn, Esau. And after him, his brother came out, and his hand took hold upon Esau's heel. And his name was Jacob. And Isaac was 60 years old when she bore them. Okay? And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. Okay? You see the line over here? Now remember this, because Esau is going to fall over into this side. Nimrod was a hunter, Ishmael was a hunter, and now Esau is a hunter. Okay? And I can pause here real quickly and say something real quick. Remember with Ishmael's mother, when the angel told Ishmael's mother, Hagar, your son's going to be a wild man. His hand will be against many, and many's hand will be against him. And everything they do will be in violence. Okay? Remember, I don't know if I said remember that back then, but you're seeing this side over here with these hunters. Okay? All right. Esau was a hunter. Jacob was a plain man and dwelt in tents. And the boys grew. Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, while Jacob was plain and dwelling in tents, the cook, the prayer guy. Okay? And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison, his deer meat. But Rebekah, mom, she loved Jacob, the younger one. And Jacob sawed pottage. And one day Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with some of your red pottage, for I'm faint." Therefore his name was called Edom. Remember that. Edom. 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 This is going to be another name that's going to be a part of these people who's going to be giving Israel problems from all through their history. Okay? And this name is very key. Edom. Because a lot of the problems that's going to happen here is going to be identified by the Edom or the Edomites. Esau, they're talking about, and Esau's generation. Oh, we getting in the juice of the juice right now. Okay. Based on not only what's happening there, but how it affects us today in these modern times. Okay. All right. So he comes in, give me some of that food. You know what I mean? I'm faint, man. Therefore his name was called Edom. And Jacob said, well, sell me your birthright. And Esau said, behold, I'm at the point of getting ready to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, well, swear by me this day. And Esau swore by him. And he sold his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau the bread and some pottage of the lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. The birthright being all the blessings that God gave to Abraham. Abraham's going to gave them all to Isaac, and Isaac's getting ready to give them all to Esau. But Esau's not tripping. He's not thinking about that right now. He's thinking about how hungry he is because he just came in from hunting and he's hungry. And Jacob said, well, sir, sell me your birthright. And so all those blessings can come over here to me. He says, man, I ain't tripping about no birthright, man. Here, give me some of that food. Remember that. Chapter 26. Ooh. All right, chapter 26. And there was a famine in the land besides the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, in Gerar. And the Lord appeared to him and said, go down to Egypt and dwell in the land. So I shall tell until I tell you what to do. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with you, and I will bless you. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give these countries. This is God telling Isaac, you know what I mean? And unto thy seed I will give these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swore to your father Abraham. Okay, I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of the heaven, and I will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in the sight of all the nations of the earth shall you be blessed. Behold, because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, and my statutes, and my laws. And Isaac went and dwelt in Gerar. Okay? And the men of the place asked him of his wife and said, yo, man, who that? And he's like, that's my sister. For he feared to say she was my wife, lest they should kill him. And the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah's sake, because she was fair and beautiful to look upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there for a long time, Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, looked out of the window and saw Rebekah and Isaac caressing and kissing each other, and realized that that's your wife. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, behold, that surely is your wife. And I saw y'all out there kissing, you know. Is she your sister? And Isaac said to him, because I said, lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, what is this that thou hast done to us? One of the people might lightly have leaned with thy wife, and thou should have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged his people, saying, he that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Then Isaac sowed in the land and received in the same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great and went forward until he grew and became very great. Now, so Isaac was like a very good businessman and taking care of his stuff down there. And while he was down there, the Lord blessed him and everybody around him and all the businesses and everything. Okay? All right. For he had possessions of flocks and possessions of herds and the great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him. For all the wells which his father's servants had dug in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with dirt. And Abimelech said to Isaac, go from us, for thou art much mightier than we are. And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there. And Isaac dug again wells of waters, which they had dug in the days of Abraham. In other words, he redug those wells, got them back going again. For the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called the names of their names by which his father had called them. And Isaac's servants dug the wells in the valley and found there a well of springing water. And it states down here, and it came to pass that, and he called, and it came, saying that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which he had dug, and said that unto him that we had found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is called Beersheba unto this day. And Esau, his brother, was 40 years old when he went and took a wife, Judith, the daughter of Beeri in the Hittite, and Basemeth, the daughter of Elon the Hittite, which was of grief of mind to Isaac and Rebekah. The fact that he married Beeri the Hittite, African woman, and Basemeth, African woman, and Ishmael's daughter. He married them, and that's why it was a grief to Isaac and Rebekah. And now we get to the curse. Because all of them, Nimrod, Ishmael, and now Esau, and all would have started with Cain a long time ago, they're all on this side. So I'm going to put my hand right here. On this other side is the Israel side. This is, and we'll take it all the way back to, let's say, Noah. Let's go all the way back to Noah. Okay? So Shem, the three brothers, there'll be a feast at Shem's house. Japheth will be the guest of honor there, and Ham will be the servants. Okay? And the real curse that we're talking about. On this side over here, you have, after Adam and Eve had Cain and Abel, Cain kills Abel. Then they had another son named Seth. That starts this right here. This is where it starts. They had another son named Seth. Okay, Seth now, we go down Seth's generation. Let's see, Seth and Seth's generation. Seth, after Seth would be Noah. Okay, Noah's on that same side of the generation. Noah's son would be Shem over here. Okay, now I got my hands up like this here. We're going to cut right now because we're going to come back on the next break and we're going to finish it. I'm going to have my hands just like this here. Okay, all right, get ready. I'll be right back.